The other day, a friend of mine was suggesting that I check out the analog horror series, The Boiled One Phenomenon. And dear God, I wish I didn't because I think I've found some very disturbing theories about this analog horror entity. First up, we gotta dive into the idea that the Boiled One is the physical embodiment of all of humanity's pain and suffering. You know, just your everyday light topic. Let's start with the obvious. The thing's called the Boiled One. It's not exactly subtle, right? Its appearance is like someone took all the world's burns and scars and wrapped them into one unsettling package. We're talking skin that seems perpetually scalded, oozing with reminders of unhealed wounds. Just looking at it makes you wince and maybe reconsider that extra hot coffee. It's as if the pain itself decided to crash the party and brought all of its baggage along. The sheer visual impact is enough to make your skin crawl. Literally. But it's not just about the looks, though trust me, it's got a face only a nightmare could love. The series dives deep into themes of suffering and the endless cycle it creates. Kind of like Monday mornings, but you know, worse. It paints a picture of pain as this never-ending loop, where no matter how hard you try to escape, it finds a way back in. It makes you think about how suffering can be a relentless force that doesn't just knock once, but keeps banging on your door, inviting itself in for dinner. But what really seals the deal is how the Boiled One messes with your head. Its very existence taps into our deepest fears of physical harm and disfigurement. You can't help but feel a knot in your stomach, a mix of empathy and sheer terror. It preys on that primal fear we all have, the one that makes us double check the locks at night. It's like your brain's alarm bells won't stop ringing, reminding you of how fragile we really are and how quickly things can go south. So if embodying humanity's collective agony wasn't enough to make you sleep with the lights on, let's crank up the psychological thermostat. Have you ever felt stuck in a loop of emotions that you just can't shake? Well, the Boiled One might be the creepiest representation of the cycle of forgiveness you've ever encountered. Our first clue comes from analyzing the mastermind behind this madness. The series creator, Dr. Nowhere, has hinted that his work dives deep into cycles of pain, forgiveness, and perseverance. So we're not just pulling this out of thin air. The clues are baked right into this storyline. The Boiled One could embody the initial stages of hate and hurt in the forgiveness process. Its grotesque appearance mirrors those raw, unhealed wounds we carry around, kind of like that grudge you've been nursing since high school, but with, you know, more boils. Then there's the repetitive nature of analog horror itself. The genre loves its loops, and this mirrors how unresolved trauma keeps circling back, no matter how much we try to suppress it. The Boiled One's constant presence after you view it is a stark reminder that until we face our issues head on, they'll keep popping up. Much like that annoying song you can't get out of your head, it's almost like a metaphysical way of the universe saying, deal with this already. These thematic parallels really seal the deal. The well-known stages of forgiveness, hate, hurt, heal, and come together are like a roadmap for the series. The Boiled One represents the hate and hurt stages with its terrifying demeanor. Any shift or resolution in its character could symbolize the healing and coming together phases. It's as if the series is nudging us towards a different direction, one scare at a time. But honestly, I think this next theory is even more terrifying, and that's suggesting that the Boiled One isn't just a figment of individual terror, but a manifestation of humanity's collective fears and traumas. Let's start with universal fears. The Boiled One's appearance is a visual cocktail of what keeps most of us up at night: disfigurement, pain, the whole 9 yards. It's as if someone took the top items from humanity's list of nightmares and said, let's combine these all into one big super fear. The grotesque features tap into primal anxieties that transcend culture and time. We're talking fears embedded so deep, they might as well come pre-installed in our DNA. These are fears that we have right now in the 20th century, but our ancestors thousands of years ago also had. Then there's the concept of shared trauma. Think about it. War, natural disasters. The Boiled One could symbolize these collective wounds that society carries around like unwanted badges of honor. Its sudden appearance in what starts off as an innocent nature documentary feels like a metaphor for how trauma often blindsides us. One minute you're enjoying the scenery, the next you're grappling with existential dread. Fun times, right? And let's not forget the history angle. The Boiled One echoes figures from mythology and folklore that personify suffering or punishment. Think Greek mythology or medieval depictions of demons. It's like the series took these age-old symbols and gave them a modern, even more terrifying makeover. By tapping into these typical archetypes, the Boiled One resonates on a subconscious level, striking chords we didn't even know we had. It's the stuff that makes you question whether the shadow in the corner is just a pile of laundry or something far more sinister. But what if the Boiled One isn't just about our collective unconscious? What if it's tapping into something even more ancient and, dare I say, divine? Hold on to your hats because it's time to get biblical. The next theory suggests that the Boiled One is more than just a creepy figure. It might actually be a modern embodiment of biblical concepts. Think apocalyptic prophecies meets analog horror. It's basically going to Sunday school, except it's got a horror reboot. The clues kick us off with some apocalyptic imagery. The unsettling line, "The blood of life will pour down onto us all," doesn't exactly sound like a warm Christian greeting. It echoes the dramatic, often ominous language found in biblical prophecies, particularly those forecasting end-time scenarios. It's the kind of phrase that makes you look up at the sky just to make sure it's not raining anything other than water. This heavy-handed symbolism isn't just for show. It taps into deep-seated fears and adds a layer of cosmic significance to the Boiled One's unsettling presence. And then there's the Boiled One's overall demeanor. Its appearance and actions could be viewed as a form of divine judgment or retribution. Maybe humanity committed too many sins, and this is the punishment. The Boiled One embodies traits often associated with wrathful deities or angels of vengeance from religious texts. It's as if the series is hinting that our actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences come with a terrifying smile and a tall, ugly arm that sticks out at you. So we've journeyed through prophecies and collective nightmares, but what if the Boiled One is tethered not just to myths or shared fears, but to actual history? What if this thing is actually based on a real story? Buckle up, because the final theory might just blur our lines between fiction and reality. Some believe the Boiled One is connected to real-world figures, specifically these two people. It's a theory that adds a profound, if not sobering, twist to the narrative, which means we gotta dive into historical parallels. Lewis was a World War II veteran who survived extreme hardships, including harrowing experiences as a prisoner of war. He endured severe mistreatment by Mutashiro, a guard infamous for his cruelty, and his story is one of unimaginable suffering followed by an incredible journey towards forgiveness. The Boiled One could metaphorically represent the physical and psychological scars borne by survivors like him. It's as if this series distills this profound narrative of pain and resilience into a haunting figure that embodies the extremes of human endurance. Then there's the thematic overlap of suffering and forgiveness. The Boiled One phenomenon doesn't just serve up scares. It delves into deep emotional territories akin to Zamperini's experiences. Both stories navigate the darkest corners of the human experience, eventually highlighting the possibility of healing. It's a heavy connection, but it elevates the horror from mere shock value to sort of a meta commentary on the human condition. And honestly, I love when horror does this because it just makes things even more scary. And visually, we gotta talk about its appearance. I can't dive too much into the detail on this on YouTube, but let's just say what the Boiled One looks like is akin to some of the trauma that some of these people have went through. But at the end of the day, none of these theories matter. It's what you think the series is about. Drop your theories in the comments below, because I would love to read them and discuss them and maybe even feature them in a future video. Like and subscribe with the bell notification. If you want to watch more videos of me diving into horror series, watch the video on screen now.